this month's manga haul. I got a few pre-orders and I got a few light novels I want to share with you guys, so let's get right into the video. For everyone who watched my last video, you know how much I loved my lesbian experience with loneliness, and I was able to pick up the next 2 volumes in the series called My Solo Exchange Diary. An exchange diary is typically where you write a topic and you give it to another person to respond to. In this case, Nagata, the author, is writing to herself. Each entry is about another moment in her life. Her finding the courage to go on a date for the first time, her contemplating if she's happier away from her family or with them, her admitting herself into a hospital due to her mental health issues. The series picks up right where it left off from my lesbian experience with kind of a different style of storytelling, but it is still as intense with discussing a person's struggle with their sexuality, anxiety, and depression. For those of you who are a fan of my lesbian experience with loneliness, the next installment of My Solo Exchange Diary will not disappoint you. The first of my pre-orders that I got is the second volume of Chainsaw Man, and this is such a fun new shonen series that is being released right now. It's about a boy who gets his life changed when he gets the power of the chainsaw devil inside him, and now he goes on the hunt with other devil hunters to kill all devils. It's not the most original concept for a series, but I really like Chainsaw Man because of all the characters, since they're so fun, and the action scenes are intense and gory. Really nice pickup for all the fans of shonen manga. Another pre-order that gets better and better with every volume is Spy X Family, about a secret spy, secret assassin, and secret esper trying to live in a pretend family for their own reasons. The series peaks in everything: the comedy, the action, the family wholesomeness. Spy X Family is the type of series that I would recommend to a first-time manga reader, and I would bet they would love it. I genuinely can't wait for the next volume to come out in March. The next pre-order I got is the 5th volume of If I Could Reach You, a Yuri series that I've been really enjoying. The story follows a girl who falls in love with her brother's wife, who she's known her entire life. It is a manga filled with a drama that would come from having an unrequited love with someone you've been very close to, and the author does a good job of making the drama realistic and not make the character interactions be weird or out of the ordinary. Another strong point of this manga is that the 2 side characters are both girls and are also in a new relationship with each other, so you get to see the difference between a romance that's not working and a romance that is just beginning. This new 5th volume brings more of the drama that's come from the past volumes, and I'm very excited to read what happens next. If you've seen my other videos, you know I've been loving We Never Learn, so I had to pick up the newest 13th volume this month. We Never Learn started off as a traditional harem rom-com manga, but these recent chapters have been really focusing on more character development to each of the 5 girls. The author dives more into their individual goals and motivation, which makes each volume more exciting to read. We Never Learn does a really good job of mixing romance and comedy while not having any filler chapters. It's really a joy to read every new volume when they come out. Next, I got the omnibus edition of My Brother's Husband, and I didn't realize how huge this volume was until I ordered it. Compared to a regular sized volume, it shows you how massive this thing is, and it's even bigger than bigger volumes like Goodnight Poon Poon. This thing is just huge. And since it's so big, it doesn't even fit in my IKEA shelf since I adjusted it to fit manga as big as Poon Poon. If you want to buy this, I would suggest you buy the 2 hardcover editions because I've seen them in store and they're about the size of a normal manga volume and would fit perfectly on your bookshelf. The story is about a man's deceased brother's husband from America who comes to Japan to meet him for the first time. Homosexuality isn't common and is considered taboo in Japan, so you get to read about the man and the prejudice about the husband before coming to terms and accepting the husband and his sexuality as he spends more time with him. So that's all the manga. Now onto the light novels. The first light novel I got is from my favorite anime of all time, the Monogatari series. Kyuzu Monogatari acts as the prologue to the entire series, so I decided to read this first because I wanted to start the series chronologically instead of by the release date. Now, I love Monogatari series for everything it offers: the story and the themes, the interesting and lovable characters, and most of all, I love the dialogue between the characters. If you're interested, I would say watching the anime is a good way to start because it has such an amazing adaptation. You can pause your screen now to see a guide on how to watch/read the series in order for everyone that's interested. Okay, the next series I got this month is Classroom of the Elite, which I really liked reading. If you watch the anime of this, I would really recommend the light novel because it does a much better job giving the details to the schemes that are being pulled and does a much better job of character development. For me, the anime made the characters feel much more one-dimensional than they should have been, and the light novel does not have this issue. The story is about a student who is placed in the lowest ranking class at his school, Class D, D. Class D is full of defective students, but this student is secretly a genius who would make his way all the way up to Class A. If you like stories where the main character hides their true powers, you will really like this story, as he secretly pulls the strings behind a lot of stuff that happens in the story. The next light novel I bought was the first 3 volumes of 86, a military manga that focuses on a group of people that the Republic has determined are worth less than human beings, so they are nicknamed the 86, and they are forced to fight in a war against automated war robots. To be honest, if you want better thoughts in this novel, you should find other reviewers, because personally, I read the first 2 chapters of this and I wasn't really into the plot. It's an okay start to a novel, but I don't think I'll be finishing this, and I'll be reading other books that I enjoy more. There's nothing wrong with the novel, and I would recommend it if you're a fan of mecha military type stories. It's just that now that I've read this type of story for the first time, I've realized that it's just not my cup of tea. It does have really great reviews though, and maybe it would get better if I continue to read it. It's just I have other things I want to read now, so I'd rather not read this one. Now the last light novel I got is one that I really enjoyed and is much more my style, called 3 Days of Happiness. If you're familiar with I Sold My Life for 10,000 yen a year, this is the original source material that the manga used. I actually got the manga by self-printing it before, and I loved the story so much that I had to get the new light novel that just got released. One thing I really don't like about the light novel is the cover that Yen Press put on this really comes off pretty easily, and it really collects fingerprints. I personally found myself taking off the cover to read it, and I'm only keeping on the cover to display on my bookshelf. For the story itself, it follows a man who has no real motivation in his life, so he decides to sell his lifespan, which is only worth $3,000. After that, he is left with a month to live his life, so you follow how he decides to live the rest of his life, thinking back on all the regrets he's made in his past. It's a tearjerker of a book, and I really recommend it as it's only 1 volume long. That's it for this video. I do have pending orders from the Right Stuff holiday sale, so if that comes in before December, I'll definitely make a video on it. Otherwise, look forward to my manga collection video that I'm going to post before the end of December. That's going to be my big video before 2020 ends. Other than that, that's it for this video. Bye!